everyone, welcome to the Essex Sport Facebook page. My name is Arlene. I'm going to take you through a 30-minute slow flow yoga class today. Before we begin, if you just make sure you've got plenty of space to move around comfortably and that your floor isn't slippery, and it's nice to have a yoga mat or something similar for support and also a bit of grip. And feel free to have some water nearby, and just make sure to do movements that feel comfortable for you today. You're welcome to take a rest at any time. And if you have something like a yoga strap or a belt or a towel nearby, there's just a few movements that it might be comfortable to have that for. Okay, great. So welcome again to class today, and we're just going to start laying on our back for a moment. So if you want to get comfortable, and as you lay back, just check in. You're welcome to put cushion or a rolled up towel underneath your head, and just take a moment to get comfortable. You can do this with your legs straight or your knees bent. Just notice what feels nice for your body, and just take a moment to feel the natural flow of your breath. And you might imagine that with each inhalation, it rises from your navel and takes a pathway up to your heart space. And when you exhale, that pathway reverses, so you release your breath from your heart to your navel. And if it's more comfortable, you can do this with one hand on your navel and one hand on your heart, to think about that connection between the two places. But just do the breath and the positioning that feels right for you. Just feeling the breath rise slowly from your navel to your heart as you inhale, and relaxing your exhalation, the breath reverses from heart to navel. And as you find that rise of breath along this pathway, just observe the places where your body touches the ground, and just notice how those places feel as you focus on your breath. Maybe you can sense the space around your head and around your feet, and feel the space surrounding you, and just notice the temperature of your skin. Get throughout our practice, if it feels comfortable for you, connect with your breath. This connection of your breath near your belly, up into your chest, near your heart, and the reverse. Okay, so when you're ready, just make little movements. You can start to rotate your wrists or wiggle your fingers. You're welcome to start to just expand out into space. And when it's comfortable, bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on the floor. And just take a few moments to turn your head side to side. Let your head feel heavy here. So it's almost like your head is kind of like a ball rolling side to side if you were to place your hand on top. So it just feels a very gentle movement. Relax the back of your neck. Good. And then just lift one foot off the floor. Hold your shin or the back of your thigh. Check in with how that feels. Notice if your hip is lifting up, and just make little adjustments so it feels like your hips are even on the ground. Good. Stay there. You can start to circle your ankle 3 times in one direction, 3 times in the other. Notice how that feels. Little wake up for your shins and your calves. Good. Then we'll open that same knee out to the side by rotating through your thigh. Make little adjustments to feel comfortable. And it'd be nice to open your arms out to the side a little bit. And then once you're comfortable with your arms out to the side, you can just very slowly start to kind of sway side to side. So it just feels like your knees kind of coming in the direction of the floor. It doesn't have to touch as a destination, and the bottom of your foot on the other side. And maybe you can feel that create a little rotation that creates a nice sense of release in your lower back, as well as perhaps easing in your outside edge of your hip or your bottom. Good. And then we'll come back to stillness in the center, and keep your feet as they are. But if you lift your foot off the floor, and see if you'd like to hold on the back of your thigh, or maybe even your shin, and just stay there for a moment. That might start to create a release on the outside edge of the hip that has your knee bent. So for example, my right knee's bent, and perhaps I feel a little sensation here. I do feel a little sensation on the outside edge of my right hip. If you want more, you can bring your chest up towards your legs, or you can even straighten your left leg or the other leg. Just see how that feels for you. Good. And then when you're ready, very slowly relax down, feet to the floor, and just check in. How does the right side of your body feel compared to the left side? Great. Okay, so we're going to bring the other leg's thigh towards our chest. Hold your shin or the back of your thigh. See which is more comfortable. 3 circles of that ankle in one direction, 3 circles in the other direction. Just notice how it feels, hips level. Then we'll start to rotate through our thigh, knee out to the side, ankle resting on your other leg. Check in, maybe you'd like to stay there. Notice if you're lifting your shoulders, you can make little adjustments. Then same options over here. We'll start to rock side to side with your arms out to the side a little bit. And we'll skip that part. But just notice how that feels. Maybe that creates a little rotation in your lower back. And does it create kind of ease in that space? Or maybe you feel it on the outside edge of your hips. Good. Okay, then we'll come back to center, and here options again the same as on the other side. So you can lift your foot off the floor and hold the back of your thigh or your shin if that's comfortable. Make little adjustments to feel at ease. The rest of your body, option to lift your chest or straighten your leg. Just see what feels comfortable for you. And as you stay here, just perhaps you can feel a little release through your lower back, your hips, your rib cage. Just notice where that has your body's relationship with the floor in these areas. Good. And then we'll gently relax. Bring both feet to the floor. Good, and just take a nice full body stretch if that's comfortable. So you might just move your arms, but if it's comfortable, also your legs. And just start to feel like you're trying to lengthen away from your center, your fingers and your toes moving in opposite directions. Good. And then when you're ready, you can bring both of your knees to your chest. You might do that simultaneously or one at a time. Forehead up towards your knees, little rock side to side. Option to draw circles on the ceiling with your knees in reverse. Good, and then either roll to one side and push yourself up, or you can rock up from here, and we'll come to all fours on hands and knees. Good, so from all fours, just set up so your hands are about the width of your shoulders and your knees about the width of your hips, okay? So bring your right arm out to the side, and we're going to make it into a half T, so lift it off the floor, and then start to rotate from your waist. And just stop wherever that's comfortable, so it doesn't have to be a large movement or a large range, but if it's comfortable, you might look up at your fingers to increase the rotation in your head, and just observe how that starts to create a bit of space in your chest and open through your side body. Good, one more breath here. Lovely, then slowly revolve back, and we'll place our hand on the floor and just do the other side. So other arm reaches out to the side, gentle rotation. You can look up at your fingers, notice your chest, create space here. Good, maybe that creates a little bit of ease in the front of your body. Good, then gently rotate back to center. We'll do 2 rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, soften your belly towards the mat, tailbone tips up, and you can look up with your head. And as you exhale, very slowly tuck your tailbone, round your spine. You can relax your head to look down at your knees, relax the back of your neck. And just one more round of cat and cow at your own pace. Sometimes it's nice to move with your breath. Making one movement match, inhalation, the other exhalation. Good, so back to a nice neutral spine. And we'll come to extended child's pose. So bring your bottom to your heels, forearms can bring down, come down to the ground. You might rest your forehead on a fist or 2, or on the ground itself. Any tension in your lower back, or just if it feels nice today, you're welcome to widen the space between your knees and bring your toes towards each other. Let your arms feel comfortable, so do like kind of resting here with your forearms bent. Or you can even reach your fingers to the front of the mat. So just notice where that feels nice for you today. Relaxing through your touching points like gravity. Just slowly nestle your body downward. Good. And then when you're ready, walk your hands back. We'll slide up to all fours on hands and knees. Good. Tuck your toes under. Gently bring your bottom to your heels, setting up for downward facing dog. So your hands relax into the mat like they're kind of softening into wet clay. And as you exhale, lift your hips up. You can look down at your toes. You might feel your arms next to your ears here, so you can really bend your knees to lengthen your tailbone behind you if that feels comfortable. And just if it feels like the range starts to come, you can start to soften your heels towards the mat. So just make this your own. You can start to lift your heels off the mat and lower your heels towards the floor a few times, or you might do that alternating in your feet by bending one knee at a time or turning your head side to side. So just make it your own. If that feels intense at any time, you might prefer to come back to extended child's pose. Good. So one more breath here. And then when you're ready, you can walk your hands to your feet or bend your knees and hop your feet to your hands, just so it feels comfortable. And then slowly draw your navel inward. We'll come up to standing. Bring your head up last. Inhale your arms up overhead. Good, little upper back bend here. Weight towards your heels, hips forward. Start to lengthen your front body. Good, and then as you exhale, open your arms out to the side. Give everything a little shake. And if you just stand comfortably with your feet about the width of your hips, if that feels nice, you can have a little turnout in your toes from your hip space. We'll bring our arms up overhead and just hold onto the fingers of one hand with the other. And just start to lengthen your arms upwards. And imagine you're trying to draw a circle on the ceiling, but this circle with your hands starts to radiate to the other parts of your body, like your rib cage and your hips. So there might be little movements there as you draw this circle on the ceiling, and go in the other direction as well. It's just a nice way to kind of wake up the sides, our back, our chest, our shoulders, but also to feel that relationship you have. Because as you move your upper body, you might feel that not only in your side body, but also in your feet. Okay, so we'll bring our arms out to the side and just give everything a little shake. So we're going to set up for chair pose next. So just see if you prefer to practice chair pose with your feet hip width apart, or you might like to have them anywhere in between, having them next to each other or somewhere in that range. So I'm just going to turn sideways for our chair pose. But just notice your shoulders over your hips and the top of your head lengthens up. Good, so we'll start by bringing our arms up overhead. Inhale, engage your navel, exhale, sit to chair pose. Good, and just check in so you can make those little adjustments again. So it's quite nice to have your knees track about to the center of your foot, and again you can see how much space do you like in your chair pose for your feet to have between them. Good, and we'll push through our feet, hinge upwards. Inhale like you're trying to touch the ceiling, navel's engaged, exhale back to chair. Good. And just again, any adjustments. Sometimes it's nice to imagine between your knees there's a little balloon. Good, we'll do that once more. Pushing through your feet, inhale, fingers lengthen up to the ceiling, exhale, sitting down to your chair pose. We're going to stay in our chair pose next, and just bring your hands in front of your heart space. Your palms are touching here. Inhale, and as you exhale, as an option, you can gently rotate to one side and rest your elbow on the opposite knee. So if that feels intense, or if you have any lower back issues, you might stay facing forward. Just notice that can start to create a little ease through your lower back. If you want more, you can open just one arm up to the ceiling, or you can, if you want more from there, you can lengthen the opposite hand towards the floor. Good, a little rotation, maybe that opens your chest space. You can look up at your fingers if that's comfortable to increase the rotation. Lovely. And then we'll gently bring the palms of our hands back together, rotate through center, and then do the other side. So elbow comes to the opposite knee, options to stay, maybe extend your upper arm, or also adding the fingertips towards the floor. Nice rotation here. Good. Lovely. And then when you're ready, palms touch, rotate slowly back to center. Just do it at your own pace. Bring your arms next to your ears, so we'll transition through our chair pose. Push through your feet, hinge upwards. Here we'll add a little upper back bend. Weight to your heels, hips forward. Lengthen your fingertips up as your rib cage lifts away from your hips. Good. And then gently open your arms out to the side. You can give everything a little shake. Back to our chair pose. Good. We're just going to walk a little bit to the front of the mat so I have space to set my leg back behind us. Okay, so nice comfortable alignment. Inhale, arms up, hands about the width of your hips. Navel's engaged. Lead with your tailbone, sit to chair pose. Good. Hands come in front of your heart space. We'll just do one side rotation. Inhale here, exhale, rotate to the right. Option to open your arms up, one or both, into a straight line. Good. And then gently rotating back to center. We'll do the other side on the next round, but just bring your hands to the floor, about the width of your shoulders, step your right foot comfortably back. Good, stay here if that's comfortable. You might bring your knee down if that feels more comfortable. Stay here with your hands on the mat, lengthening your heel away from you. Good, you might start to lengthen the top of your head towards the front. Good, so your left arm, same foot that's forward, reach your arm out to the side, and very slowly start to rotate towards your bent knee. Good, option to bring your knee down at any time. If you want more, you can look up towards the ceiling. If you want more from here, you might bring your hands back to that prayer pose, your palms touching, and bringing your opposite elbow to your left knee, so your right elbow to your left knee. Good, one more breath here. And gently rotate back to forward. Hands are width of your shoulders, step your feet back to downward facing dog, to that upside down V. You can bring movement to that if desired. Just check in. Good, one more breath here. Lovely. Then step your right foot forward, so you kind of lift your right leg, bend your knee to your navel, step your right foot forward between your hands. Good. And then step both feet together, come to a forward folded position. So you can have your knees bent here and rest your forearms on your thighs, or you might have your hands towards the floor, or lengthen your legs long. Good. Just see how that feels for you. Good. One more breath here. Lovely. And then when you're ready, sit back to chair. So tailbone extends down, arms next to your ears, push through your feet, hinging upwards. Little upper back bend option. Good. And as you exhale, slowly open your arms out to the side. Good. Just setting up for another chair. Inhale here. Exhale. exhale, tailbone extends down. You're sitting to your chair pose. Good. If you want more, you can interlace your thumbs here and start to lengthen your fingers away. Good. Imagine that you're holding that balloon between your knees. Good. Lovely. Then bring your hands in front of your heart. Rotate to your left side this time. Right elbow to left knee. Option to bring your arms up into that straight line. One or both. Good. Feel your chest gently opening. Lovely. Palms together. Rotate to center. Place your hands on the floor, shoulder width apart. This time the left foot steps back comfortably. Good. Option to bring your knee down. Just see how it feels nice. Good. Then we'll start to bring our right arm out to the side. Gentle rotation here. You can turn your head to gaze up at your fingertips. Maybe that you can feel that create ease in your lower back, your rib cage, the muscles of your bottom. Good. Lovely. And then gently rotate back. So our hands will stay on the floor, hip width apart. Step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Or upside down V. Make that your own. You can bring little movements to this. Turn your head side to side, or start to lengthen your heels towards the floor. Really soften your hands into the mat, and it feels like your tailbone's lengthening away from you. So your arms are next to your ears. So as an option, you can lift your left leg for flying dog. So your knee stays towards the floor, and your heel lifts up. Good. Then bend your knee towards your navel, but then continue to step your foot forward between your hands. Back to our little equestrian lunge. Lovely. And then we'll start to bring our left arm out to the side. Gentle rotation here. You can look up at your fingertips again. Knee down option. See what feels nice. Lovely. Then gently rotate back to center. Step your feet together. Back to the forward fold, wherever that's comfortable. You can have your forearms resting on your thighs or have your hands on your legs. Good. Wherever that feels nice. You can gently turn your head side to side. Good. One more breath here. Just relaxing evenly through your feet. Then leave with your tailbone and sit back to chair pose. Arms can come next to your ears, or you might interlace your fingers and or your thumbs, and have your fingers lengthen away from you. Just notice what feels nice. And you can almost feel this opposition of your tailbone reaching down, but your fingers lengthening up. Good. Just do it at your own pace. Rest at any time. Lovely. And push your feet, hinge upwards, little upper back bend. Fingers lengthen upward. Lowest ribs lift away from your hips. Good. And then as you exhale, arms open out to the side. Good. So we'll do one more little round here. Just removing the rotation to the side from chair. Good. So arms up overhead. Inhale, exhale, sit to chair. Let's say 2 or 2 breaths. Option to interlace your fingers lengthening up. Good. So we'll leave out the little rotation in chair here, but slowly bring your hands down to the mat. Good. And gently step your right foot back. Good. Hands stay in contact with the floor. Reach your left arm out to the side. Rotation here. Good. Option to bring your knee down. Lovely. Hands back. Push your left foot back to downward facing dog. Upside down V. Option to bring a little movement to this. Good. See if you'd like to turn your head. Good. Right leg lifts up for flying dog. Heel lengthening away from you. Good. Then bend your right knee. Bring your right knee to your navel. You can look between your hands. Right foot steps forward. Back to equestrian pose. Good. Optional knee down here. Just see what feels nice. Right arm out, opens out to the side. Gentle rotation. See if you'd like to look up at your fingers. Just come into that as much as feels comfortable. And if you want to come into that deeper, you can bring your left elbow to your right thigh and press the palms of your hands in front of your heart space. Good. Last breath here. Good. We'll gently rotate back to face the short edge of your mat. Step your feet together. Come back to the forward fold, wherever that's comfortable. You might rest your forearms on your thighs or have your hands on your legs. Good. And just feel the weight evenly throughout your feet, so it's not shifting towards your toes or your heels more. The crown of your head just lengthens away from you. If you want to come into that deeper, you might bend your elbows and hold on to the opposite forearm, so the top of your head lengthens towards your forearms. Or you can bring your forearms behind your calf muscles, so you can really feel that folding coming from your hip space as you relax downward. So just come into this much as feels comfortable for you, no pressure to come into that deeply, just wherever it feels nice and creates ease. It's almost like the feet soften into the ground, but your sitting bones lengthen upwards. Good. One more breath here in your forward fold or Uttanasana. Lovely. Then to come out, you can either start to unroll your spine, or you might sit through chair and push through your feet to hinge upwards. So just see which one you prefer. Rolling up or sitting through chair, hinging up, little upper back, and when you come to the top, and as you exhale, we'll come out to our mountain pose, into our mountain pose. You're welcome to give everything a little shake. Good. So we're going to do practice a few balances next. So here, I'll have the strap nearby just as an option. So if you might use a strap to kind of touch your feet with your hands. You're welcome to have one. Oh, so I seem to have a really long strap. I'm just going to place it on my shoulder here to use in a moment. Okay, lovely. So just come to a nice mountain pose. So your feet are together and your shoulders over your hips, and the top of your head, it's almost like it's lengthening up to the ceiling and the chin is parallel to the floor. I'm just going to face the short of my edge of my mat to do this. Okay, so shift the weight over to one leg. So I'm going to shift the weight to my left foot. And option one, bend your right knee, and imagine you're lifting your knee straight upwards if you'd like to. So you might stay here with your toes on the floor, and you might lift your toes off the ground. You can lift your knee straight up if you'd like to lift it at maximum, about hip height. Good, so option one, stay here. You can place your hands on your hips, or open up out to the side, or even bring them up overhead. Okay, so the next part, if you'd like to, bring your opposite arm to leg. So if I have my right knee lifted up, I'm going to bring my left hand to my right toes, my knee still facing upwards. Good, if that feels a bit uncomfortable for your body today, you might use the strap here around the sole of your foot to hold on to. Good, and you can hold on to that strap with both hands or just with your left hand. See what feels comfortable. Okay, so stay here if that feels nice, but think about lengthening the top of your head upward. If you'd like to, you can add a rotation, so you're rotating towards your bent knee, so my stomach is coming towards my right thigh. Good. If you want more from there, you can open your right arm behind you. If you want more from there, you can straighten your leg, so you're lengthening your heel away from you. And you can do this without the strap as well if you're comfortable holding onto your toes. Good. So again, come out of it at any time. Listen to your body. You can feel that connection, even if without the, or with the strap, that lengthening in opposite directions of your foot and your arm. Good. So one more breath here. So lovely. And then when you're ready, slowly start to bend your knee. If you're rotated, we'll come back forward. Good. And you can give everything a little shake. And we'll come back to that position we did earlier with holding on to your fingertips with the other hand, lengthening your arms up, chin parallel to the floor, and just do 2 circles in one direction to help ease out any tension, and then the other direction. Good. Okay, great. So we'll set up for our hand to foot pose on the other side. So again, I'll just turn to the side, but just think about, so if you stood on your left foot, last time we'll stand on the right. Think about keeping your hips parallel. Shift the weight over so your leg comes into the center of your body, other knee bends. Would you like to stay here? Maybe lifting your toes, just come through it at your own pace. You can lift your knee straight up. You can hold on to your toes with that strap there, kind of looping them around, or you can use a towel here to hold on. And then if you'd like to add that rotation, rotate through your waist. So you're facing your bent, your thigh of the bent knee. You can start to open your arm out behind you, and you can even start to extend your leg forward. And it's quite nice to lead with your heel. You can do that at any height. It doesn't matter where your leg is, wherever it's comfortable. It's all go, just exploring. Good. To challenge your balance further, you can turn your head to look behind you at your fingertips. Good. So one more breath here. Lovely. And then when you're ready, very slowly rotate back forward. You can bend your knee, relax, hold. Good. And then we're going to do a little rotation side to side. So just put my strap down here. Okay, so standing with your feet just a little bit wider than hip width. If you just start to allow your arms to swing side to side, so again, just make sure you've got space to do this comfortably without having any cabinets or things nearby that might be in the way. And if you want to make this steeper, you might start to lift one heel off the floor. So when you rotate to the left, you can lift your right heel off the floor, and vice versa. Good. And if you want more, you can bring your arm to the opposite shoulder. So just a nice little rotation. Good. Lovely. And then when you're ready, you can come back to stillness and just shake out your arms and your legs. So we're going to come down to the ground through a squat position next. So just check in if your heels tend to lift in a squat. You might have a block or a rolled up towel nearby. So just turn your toes out to the side, your feet about the width of your hips or slightly wider. Good. And we'll open our arms out to the side in a T with the palms facing down. And then think about just leading with your tailbones to come to that squat. So your knees are starting to lengthen outwards towards the center of your feet. Stop at any point. So if you're comfortable, you might come all the way down so your bottom is towards the floor, but just come into that as much as feels comfortable. Good. So with your arms in a straight line, turn your palms forward. And as an option, you can start to rotate to one side. So just stop wherever that's comfortable. It's like your fingers are reaching out. But if it's comfortable, you can bring one hand to the floor and the other one reaches up towards the ceiling. Again, just come into that much as feels comfortable, and you can do that if you're in a higher version of the squat, maybe placing books or some blocks underneath your fingers. Good, so one more breath here. Lovely, and then back through that center and the T. Other side if you're, as an option, if that's comfortable. Again, wherever that feels nice for you, no pressure to come into that deeply. Good. One more breath here. Lovely. Then when you're ready, slowly rotate center. Good, and then we'll come to sit on our bottom with your knees bent, and just hold onto your shins, and just almost kind of like you're leaning back. So we're not going to practice the boat pose, but almost like you're practicing boat pose and you're leaning back to kind of create length in your lower back here. Good. Okay, great. So from here, you straighten one leg, keep the other knee bent. So I'm going to straighten my left leg, hold onto my right shin with my knee bent, and just sit up tall. And this leg's just coming straight from my hip space. Good. So option one, if you lift your toes off the floor and your heel stays on the ground, if it's comfortable, interlace your fingers and bring the palms of your hands to the bottom of your foot. And if you have a strap nearby, you can do this with the strap around the sole of your foot instead. Good. So stay if that's comfortable. Option two, start to lean back, and you can lift your foot a little bit off the floor, and then just start to straighten your leg and draw it towards your body again. So option three, you might lift your foot higher, so it's almost like your shins parallel to the floor. And it's similar to cat and cow. You can start to lengthen your foot forward and then draw your knee back. And at maximum raise, you might have your leg come straight, but there's no pressure to do so. And when you bend your knee, you can slide your side along the side of your rib cage. Good, so just check in as much as feels comfortable. Do that at the range that feels nice for you and how fast or so. And again, this is kind of like a more maximum range, but all of the options feel nice, so maybe it's more comfortable to hold on to your shin or to your thigh to do this. So just do it at your own pace, that kind of lengthening of your heel as you kind of rock forward, and then drawing your knee back as you lengthen back. Good, so we'll do one more round. Lovely, and then gently relax your foot, and just give your legs a little shake, and just notice how the side of your body that you just did the movement on feels compared to the other, and then we'll set up for the other side. So keep the opposite leg straight, bend your knee, you can hold on your shin to start to lengthen the top of your head up, and heel stays in contact to the ground, toes lift. Option to interlace your fingers and slide them underneath, or you can use your strap. My strap's going to be noisy if I pull it down. Whoop, there we go. And I brought a pencil with me. Okay, so you might use your strap here as well. And then once you're in position, wherever that's comfortable, you can start to kind of lean forward and backward. Do that higher. Good. Or just notice the range that feels comfortable for you to practice that. And again, at maximum, you might bring your thigh to slide on the outside edge of your rib cage here. And then when you come forward, you can also bring your shoulders to relax forward. Good, so we'll do one more round here. Lovely, that's one. And then gently relax down. And if you just sit up tall, so your sitting bones in contact with the ground and your shoulders are over your hips, and you can keep your legs straight, or find if bending your knees feels more comfortable for that alignment of your spine. And just slowly bring your arms up, lengthen up. And as you exhale, fold from where your thigh meets your hips. Come forward. You can rest your hands on your legs or your toes, or if you have that towel or strap nearby, you can do that here. I'm just going to come into side view. Good. So just keep that long spine. Bend your knees if that's more comfortable. Keep your stomach towards your thighs. And if you want more, you can lengthen your heels away, knees on that strap, or hold onto your toes. And just come into it as much as feels comfortable for your body. Good. Just relaxing here, lengthening the top of your head away, and feeling your sitting bones relax. Good. So adjust at any time if it feels a bit intense. Listen to your body. It's your own practice. Just let it serve your body to find where you can create ease. Good. And one more round of breath here. Lovely. And then to come out, you can either start to uncurl your spine, or if you like the length in your spine, you can hinge up and reach your fingers away from you. Good. We'll bring our arms out to the side, and if you come to lay on your back with your knees bent, then just get comfortable in your upper body. Good. So make any adjustments on your shoulders, and place your hands either side of your hips with your palms facing down. So just relax here, so your shoulders relax, your hips and your feet. And then notice your breath, so your belly fills, your lower back might round away from the floor as you inhale, and as you exhale, navel draws inward, tailbone tips up. Do that again at your own pace. Your breath rises, belly fills, and as you exhale, navel draws inward, tailbone tips up. Good, so stay with that if that's comfortable. Otherwise, on your next exhalation, you can tilt your hips up, lift up to your bridge pose, lift as high as feels comfortable. Come down at any time. It's quite nice to keep the head neutral to protect the alignment of the neck. And if you want more, you can tuck your shoulder blades under. You can hold onto your ankles here. You might interlace your fingers below you. Or you can make it more challenging by bringing your arms over out to the side or overhead. If you do want a more dynamic bridge, so no pressure to do this, you might enjoy holding, and again, come down at any time. You can lift one foot off the floor and then switch to the other leg after a few moments, or you can lift one foot off the floor and then lengthen your leg up, like you're going to push or touch the ceiling with the ball of your foot. Hold for a few moments, and then reverse and do the other leg. So again, just do that at your own pace. Again, your arms wherever they're comfortable may be, like that interlace of your fingers below you. Good. So we'll just explore that for another round of breath. Good. Come out at any time. If you're still in the posture of your bridge, you can very slowly start to relax down at your own pace, so no rush. But when you do feel your hips in contact with the ground, just gently bring your knees to your chest. Hold your shins and just find a nice rocking motion that feels comfortable. So you can draw circles on the ceiling with your knees. You might bring your forehead up and hold onto your toes and kind of rock forwards, backwards a little bit. It's like your toes are almost kind of coming overhead, holding onto them with your hands. Good. Another option, just to throw it out there, you can have your shins parallel with your shins parallel with the floor and make a right angle between your shins and your thighs, and just slowly start to push one leg away while drawing the opposite knee towards your chest. So just see how that feels for you. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to a stillness and just hold onto your shins, forehead towards your knees is an option. Good. And then just take a nice full body stretch, and you're welcome to come and relax for a few moments in Shavasana, and just connecting with your body and making small adjustments when you're ready to come out. But I'll leave you there now to enjoy perhaps your relaxation or take a few more little stretches out to space. But thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. So, goodbye.